Do you recall at any time during the meeting with Sheriff Peterson there being anyone else present besides yourself, Sergeant Colburn, and Sheriff Peterson?
I don't recall.
Do you recall whether the meeting stayed in Sheriff Peterson's office as opposed to moving anywhere else?
I don't think I've ever had a conversation with the sheriff that didn't stay in his office. I mean, we never left the office and went somewhere else.
Okay. Uh, do you recall whether Sheriff Peterson took any notes of what you were saying?
I don't recall.
Do you recall whether what you were saying was recorded in any fashion?
No.
No, it wasn't, or no, you don't recall?
I don't believe it was, but I don't recall specifically.
When you and Sergeant Colburn were there, did you report what Sergeant Colburn had said to you, or did you simply ask Sergeant Colburn to tell the sheriff what Sergeant Colburn had told you?
I don't know exactly how it went down. Usually, if I take someone to talk to a supervisor, I usually lead into it with a quick summary of what it was and then let someone else explain it.
Sure. And that's, I mean, again, that's probably what would have happened based on your own experience and practice.
It's probably what happened.
Okay. It certainly would not be the case that Sergeant Colburn would not be allowed to speak to the sheriff.
No.
I mean, that's the point of his being there, correct?
Correct.
So that if the sheriff has questions, he can follow them up with Mr. Colburn.
Correct.
And do you have any recollection as to how long the meeting lasted?
You know, I don't, other than it was probably very short.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a recollection of anybody saying anything in particular?
Other than the sheriff said, give me a statement as to what you just told me.
Okay.
That's how this came about.
Setting the report aside and talking only about the incident described in the report, that is a contact from some other law enforcement agency about a person in custody for an assault and wondering if that person was involved in an assault that was prosecuted earlier, that was going on earlier in Manitowoc County. Was there any conversation about that general subject matter that you can recall having with anybody else?
No.
You ever talk to any other people from Brown County about it, or any other Brown County law enforcement agency, including, for example, the City of Green Bay Police Department?
No.
Or Ashwaubenon, or anybody else?
No, sir.
Okay. So again, I think I'm approaching beating the dead horse, but I just need to make sure that the horse is in fact dead. There is not any more information that you have right now today about the subject matter of the statement contained in 125 than you had at the time you prepared 125. Is that true?
That's all I have.
Okay. You had some conversation with Sergeant Colburn in which presumably you told each other about this process that you're involved in here today.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that right? Do you recall whether you contacted him or he contacted you?
I believe he contacted me.
Is he still with the Sheriff's Department?
Yes.
Okay, so you're both active members of
Right.
the Sheriff's Department today. And when he approached you, however the contact occurred, whether it was he to you or you to him, was it limited to the question of the existence of a subpoena? Or did you discuss this document? Did you discuss the fact that the events described in 125 had occurred? Did you have any other conversation?
No, not really. He had mentioned to me that he had gotten some kind of contact that he had to make a deposition, and he asked me if I had any contact, and I said yes. I said I have no idea what it's about. I wasn't even hired at the time. And he mentioned something about a phone call, and it still didn't register to me until he came out and he said, no, it's about that information I gave you about a phone call I got. Oh, I said, oh, okay. That's how I remembered it.
And did he say anything about having an improved recollection or increased amounts of information
No,
today as opposed to what he had back then?
not to my knowledge.